Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the video. Now in today's video, I'm going to be doing 5 things that I love about my Miata. Now, I know it's probably been almost 2 weeks now since I've uploaded. I'm really sorry about that. I was actually up in Oregon visiting a friend, so that was probably like a 4 to 5 day trip. So didn't really have time to upload. Obviously, didn't have my car, anything like that. So we are back though, guys. It's a nice day. It's nice and cloudy, so it's not super hot in here. If you guys watched my other video, I actually had to go into the garage because it was just so darn hot in here. But today it's cloudy, it's kind of cool. It's probably gonna start raining later today, but it's nice because I could just relax in here and do this video for you guys. So with that said, guys, let's just go ahead and start with number 1. So number 1 is how small this car is. I absolutely love how small it is. It's easy to park, obviously. You can fit in the compact areas and you can fit in kind of tighter spots than normal. So finding parking for this thing is very easy, and it's something I really do like about it. Now, another thing that I do like about this is, maneuvering in traffic. Say you're at a light and you're trying to turn right, you could honestly cut all the cars off and it just go in between the cars and the curb, and you could fit in there really nice. I don't know if you could do that in every state, but I know in California you can. Pretty sure you could do that in every state. But yeah, basically the light's red, there's a line of cars, so you could go to the right, go down the thing and turn right. So it's really easy to fit in there. It's really skinny. I could literally touch this door right now. It's so easy and really small. And I'm not even kidding when I say this. This thing could probably fit inside the whole body of a 370Z. You could probably fit the body of a 370Z on top of this thing. So it is pretty small and very easy to maneuver. Now, also parallel parking with this thing is honestly one of the best cars I've ever parallel parked in. I love it. It's just really easy to see outside of too. I mean, you look out the back, the trunk's literally right there. You could tell how close you are. You don't even need a backup camera. It's just so skinny in the back. So that's definitely one thing that I love about this thing. But let's go ahead and move on into number 2. So moving on into number 2 here, guys, is these things are pretty cheap. Now, I don't know like what financial situation you guys are in, or if like this is gonna be your first car, if you're a kid, if you're gonna be having this as a second car like me or whatever. But these things are relatively cheap, and you could probably find them anywhere from like 2 to 4 grand depending on the condition. I got this thing for around 2 grand, so that's probably the cheapest car I've ever bought, actually, except for the $500 Integra, but that thing was kind of a piece of junk. Anyways, back to what I was saying is this thing is basically cheap enough that if anything were to happen to it, I wouldn't really care that much. It's a cheap car. If something bad happens to it, I could just buy another one. Now, obviously, I would care a little bit more if I really did get like a new paint job, I did all these modifications to it. I really would care. But I just find myself being less careful in this thing. Not like less safe, but I'm just saying, like, I don't worry as much. Like when I drive the 370Z, I kind of worry. I'm just like, what if this thing gets like door dinged? I have to find like a nice place to park it. I don't want to curb the wheels on that thing. I don't want to push it too much. I don't want too many mechanical things to happen. But with this thing, I really don't really care because it's so cheap. If anything were to happen to it, I would just probably leave it if it was some body damage, if it wasn't too bad. And if anything mechanical were to happen, I could probably most likely just fix it myself. So that's basically what I meant by that. It's kind of a car you can mess around with. If it gets totaled by another one, or if something mechanical goes wrong, you could probably fix it yourself. So I hope I explained that well enough. But anyways, let's go ahead and move on to number 3. Wow, that was a fail. Did you see that? Number 3. So number 3 is this thing is easy to repair. Now this kind of goes off of number 2, but the engine bay in this thing is very open. It's very easy to stick your hand in. If something were to break in there, you could probably get to it yourself. I mean, even doing a transmission job on this car probably wouldn't take you more than a day. So it's just like the Integra. It's really easy to fix. All these 90s cars, you could basically go on YouTube, search up, how to fix this, how to replace valve cover gasket or whatever, and you could do pretty much every repair on this thing yourself. Even swapping out an engine if yours is bad, it's challenging, but it's not impossible, and you have all the tutorials on YouTube. So that's something I really do like about this, because if I have a mechanical issue, I could probably just fix it myself. So that's definitely something I love about my Miata. Now moving on into number 4 here, guys, is this is the easiest car I've ever driven with stick shift. Now I had my Integra, that's what I learned on. Then I upgraded that clutch to a stage 5 like an idiot, but I needed to for the power. But then I have the 370Z and this. Now I gotta say, this is my favorite out of all of them. It's really easy to get consistent, smooth gear shifts in this car, especially. I don't know if this is just my car, so leave a comment down below if your Miata. It just feels super easy to drive as well. But every gear is super smooth. I can shift a second. It's absolutely smooth. It almost feels like an automatic. So that's something I really do love about this thing. It's just satisfying when you get that really smooth gear shift. And I mean, it's really easy to learn on for people that don't even know how to drive stick either. I actually taught my girlfriend how to drive this thing, and she did it her first try. Never drove stick in her life. And I don't even know how it happened, but I'm pretty sure it was in first gear, and she kind of let the clutch out a little bit fast, but the car stayed on and it was still moving. So it's like, it's really hard to actually stall this thing too. So it's definitely something I really do love about this thing. It's probably the easiest car I've ever driven stick in. Now moving on into the fifth and final one here. You don't even have to drive a Miata to know this, but this thing is amazing on curves and in the canyons. You know, sometimes when I'm getting on like the on-ramps of the freeway, I try to see how fast I could actually get it to without it feeling like, you know, unstable. And it actually, you could get up to a pretty good speed without it feeling unstable. And there's only been one time where the rear has really like kicked out for me, and that's when it was raining. And I mean, the tires in the back aren't that great, but I mean, when it's dry, it's really hard to get the rear to kick out on this thing unless you do a clutch kick. So that's something I really do like. I mean, if it's kind of slightly starts coming out, it's really easy to correct, and it doesn't have like an insane amount of power. So like if you're going around a corner, it's not just gonna completely spin out. So that's definitely something I love about this thing. The handling is honestly amazing. I think it actually even handles better than an Integra from what I remember. I don't know if that's because it's rear-wheel drive, but I remember in Integra, if you would take a corner too fast, I don't know if it's understeer or oversteer, whichever one it is, but like the steering just kind of doesn't work anymore, and it kind of just slides. That's what I noticed with the Integra, but with this thing, I haven't had too much experience with it, but with the experience that I've had, it's absolutely amazing. And it really does just live up to, you know, everybody saying how good it corners and how well it handles. So anyways, guys, that is it for today's video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're not already, to follow this build and whatever else I put on this channel. It's just all different car stuff. So just subscribe if you enjoy car content. So with that said, guys, I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace out, guys.